Ladies and gentlemen, let's get this show match on the road and introduce our first team, Stanford University. We have UC Berkeley.
Well, there they are, Stanford and UC Berkeley, and a lot more cheers, obviously, for UC Berkeley here. And just remember that we went to see a UCLA versus Stanford football game, or college football game as well. So we're getting totally immersed in the American football game.
Yeah, who won that one?
The rivalries. Not, oh, it was Stanford.
It was.
In the end, it was
Final
also
moments.
very long.
The
I didn't know. It was my first time watching a football game. It was very long, but we hope that this game is more action-packed now that they are all set up. Also hoping that for picks and bans, we get some interesting picks and bans as we're approaching here, and some risky picks here and there.
Yeah,
Well,
I think there's going to be risk.
It's bound to happen.
I think there's going to be risk. I think the top lane, both players like to play risky, and then those are snowbally champions that they like to play to boot. And then the jungle, well, I want to see the Shaco come through. I think we're going to see the Shaco or Udyr, and it might even be a Shaco ban coming through from the other side.
Probably. Shaco's not a pick that you really want to deal with. It's quite obnoxious, and as a Shaco main and a fan of annoying people, then I think that he's definitely ban-worthy.
Now I don't know how you feel. Are you a fan of me?
In terms of lobby, lobby banter.
Of annoying people? What? No. Sorry.
No problem. In terms of lobby banter, I was just keeping an eye on it, and well, someone from Stanford just said, well, we're going to destroy Berkeley in the big game today. So they're probably talking about the football game.
What was the rebuttal?
Fighting words. Well, no response for now. So they'll probably have to answer on the Rift, and we see what happens. They're just going at it, smack talking, and this is fun for them as well.
Absolutely, and this is the rivalry we talked about, goes back over 100 years, and there's been like 119 of those football games back and forth. Stanford currently has the overall record. They won 6 in a row, possibly winning 7 today, but there's an interesting thing. Whoever wins, that gets the Stanford axe. It's
an axe.
It's an axe. It's literally an axe, and you get to have it for the years like a trophy, right? And then it goes back and forth. And what they say is, give them the axe. It originally came from.
So Olaf.
Yeah.
Well, see, I like that because it's practical. You
axe.
can actually use it as opposed to having something on your wall that doesn't really do much.
I mean,
I think it's become more decorative over time. I think it's become more decorative over time.
So what you're saying is Olaf.
Well, that or Darius Top.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, if there's a Darius Top, I want to hear some give them the axes, man. It'd be great.
We'll see what happens. Moments away from Champion Select. We are really
Just
excited to see
inching to it.
what's gonna. I'm aching to see what they come out with.
Yeah, and like I've cast a lot of University League of Legends games that you have too recently, and these are always just a lot of fun because it's not like people are just going to do crazy things, and it's never over until it's over. Like I've said it before, it sounds ridiculous, but really, it really isn't. If a team has an advantage, it's like one guy's too greedy, 3 guys are too greedy. It like can snowball very quickly out of control.
Basically, unlearn everything you know about League of Legends. We learn in one game now.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. First ban coming out is Nidalee from Stanford University, and then we're waiting to see what the first ban will be from Berkeley. And they do choose to ban Nidalee in our first series of the day. We saw that it was unpicked or banned in the first game and then got banned, so a lot more priority here, and a Jace ban for Berkeley.
Yeah, you'll see some things where they want to get rid of these edge picks or these fringe picks that they don't actually have overlap on. So you don't really play Nidalee if you are a Shaco player and like playing all these other things, and it's just something that could really shut you down, right? So
yeah, and even Jace is just quite that strong as well. Even though
the axe is banned.
There's still Darius. That's a big one.
That's true. This one at least.
Yeah, unlucky. May come through though. We'll see.
I mean, probably more standard bans, just to make sure that the most overpowered picks aren't really rising up. Like Syndra, you don't want to let anybody have that. It's quite easy to play.
And these are actually the ones that aren't overlapped. Like, that jungler doesn't play Nidalee, doesn't play Olaf. You don't play Jace. You don't play Syndra. This guy just plays, like, Victor more than he plays Syndra. So it's like Orianna, Cassiopeia, Victor. And then the other guy plays Orianna, Cassiopeia, and more Syndra.
After all this setup and excitement, see them going for the most standard composition.
Well, these are bands. These are
Yeah,
bands. These are
okay.
bands.
Started.
Like building up to the
They're
craziness.
stopping standard. They're banning standard
Right.
things, so you can't pick it.
We're on
It's all
course.
about the build-up.
Okay.
The build-up makes it that much better.
And we are building up with a Karma ban, also pretty standard, coming out from the side of Stanford, and Zyra to round it out. That is off the table as well. So we'll see what Stanford decides to go for as a first pick. It's a hover, don't get too excited, but you know, I'm excited.
Temper expectations a little
Yeah.
bit.
Lee Sin, right? We're probably going to see that. It's quite it's just such a
That
normal pick. It fits in everything, though.
Yeah.
That's the good thing about Lee.
That would be disappointing because out of his champion pool, that's really the only standard thing that you would see, but it means they want to take it as seriously as possible.
But it is playmaking potential and possibility to find those ins and make some big plays, so that at least.
Well, you can always go full AD Lee Sin and have some fun at that, so
Yeah.
I'm hoping for that.
It's
There
also-
we go. Here's
It's, it's a good takeaway as well because it's the best champion from like a Baus on the other side of the rift on Cal. Oh, taking it away, making sure that it doesn't go over.
Yeah, and we'll see then what they decide to start off with. We have
Kennen,
the
Zach.
lock-in for Zach, channeling intermedios there, and Kennen for the top lane.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, Kennen against Lee, not that good because every time you go in, you just get kicked away. So a bit of a risky pick. Hopefully they are able to bully the top side, but Kennen, maybe a deny pick towards the Darius as he has a great
We're
link.
still on that Darius action
Yeah.
path.
Gotta go.
Sure.
Yeah, the Kennen, his most played champion, but now going to the other side. I don't want to see a Poppy come out here. That would be the only standard
Oh,
thing he
no.
has. He's the only guy who plays Poppy between the two of them. He plays Riven, Darius,
Ah, he
Yasuo,
is
stuff like
locked
that. And come on, man, come
man.
on.
It could signal that they are looking to take this a bit more serious and go
Yeah.
with those compositions that are more standard and know that they have an edge there.
Yeah, absolutely. That's really what it means. It's just a matter of the pride at this because, as you mentioned, it's like 100 years of a rivalry. If you want to put it all on the line here and just have a little bit more fun with your pick and end up losing, it's going to look bad.
100 years ago, Poppy was also meta, so, you know, they're just keeping on tradition here.
It feels like that
It
long.
feels like that sometimes. And then we'll see what Berkeley decides to go for next. A lot of hovering here. Seems like they have their bottom lane in mind, and possibly the Caitlyn Brown lane.
Yeah, it's probably the Caitlyn Braum here, or at least something to keep him safe, because that's how they like to play this, is they like to have Turkey Master.
Thanksgiving's coming up.
Yeah, make sure he doesn't feed everybody
Protect
on the
your
other team.
turkey,
Protect your turkey, keep it safe. Yeah, always a protection support here for Big Bad Voodoo, the Braum, the Nami, things like that.
Yeah, you have a three massive front line there. Kennen, Zach, and Braum to actually dive that Caitlyn is going to be nearly impossible. So I really like this, and I wouldn't want to see a Lissandra try to get in on this.
Yeah, it'd be the blind pick here.
Oh,
That's right. No, it's going to be like a brand support or maybe a Thresh or something.
Is it?
Gallia support, perhaps.
Maybe?
Who
Sandra
knows, man?
support? No?
We'll keep our fingers crossed.
They're just hovering.
Yeah, don't talk about hovers, but in this
Yeah.
case we can because, oh, there, Lissandra is locked in, so they do decide
Wow,
to go
really?
for that. And
Really?
Alex, are you guys disappointed
This is-
in those two picks?
Well, no, I like
This is-
Gallias.
Yeah.
I
Like,
like these.
in terms of dropping everything I know about University League of Legends and people having fun, this is actually really good. Like, the Alistar, I like the playmaking potential. I like the fact that he'll be able to actually get in, headbutt people out like the Kennen, super easy.
And the cool thing about Alistar is that against Zach will never engage onto you because Pulverize, you can always activate it where Zach is dropping and it will cancel the slingshot. And it's such a great counter against this. At any time that Alistar has to protect anybody, he just stands next to them, holds off on that. And I'm going to really look towards Zach. If he can be creative with his angles and the way that he uses Flash in his ultimate, he'll be able to bypass Alistar. But
Yeah, it'll be hard to get in, though,
it's
because
quite difficult.
Because Poppy W, right? It'll stop the Zac every
Yeah.
time. He has to be conscious of that.
Aw.
It's probably the Orianna or the Cassiopeia coming through for the last pick here. I feel like I feel like I baited
All
everybody.
these
Yeah,
men,
you
all the
say
best
it.
It's
lanes.
like there's so many
Promise
excited
craziness.
things.
Ugh.
Oh, okay. I
Tease
said
me
they
with
play these
Shaco.
things. I didn't promise anything, you know.
Shaco jungle, Singe jungle.
It will in the end
they're
be
solo
the
queues,
timer
man.
running out and Orianna. So relatively standard compositions with a few twists there. So we have to see how they approach this in-game. What lanes are important here to influence the rest of the games? Irene, you were mentioning that Berkeley really wants to carry from ADC and mid. How do you see them doing that with these picks?
I think it's actually great for them. I think the Orianna can throw his ball on top of the Zac, and he's going to have a really good time getting that ball all the way to the back line. And the Caitlyn's going to be safe here because you need to go through all of these people before you get to him with the Braum and the Zac.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. And then the rounded out comp from Stanford, even with the Lissandra that you weren't that excited about, what can you see them do?
Well, it's going to be a matter of Lissandra roaming. She cannot really do much in lane against Orianna, especially when she takes cleanse. Once the levels start coming in, that lane's going to go horrible, and he has to help the side lanes.
We'll see what they do and what strategy they come onto the Rift with. So let's check in with our casters and get this one going.
Welcome back to the caster desk. I'm Daniel Siva Dracos, joined now by someone with slightly less facial hair than Aiden Cyrene Moon. Of course, Indiana Frostgar in black, hailing from the LPL and the OPL. Happy to have you alongside me for this college show match. Of course, you are a huge collegiate football fan, so this feels like perfect for you as far as show matches go.
I don't know if Chobra knew that when he assigned me to the show match, but I am a big football fan, unfortunately for University of Oregon, so sorry, guys. I was expecting boos. They're like, we're League of Legends fans, we don't care.
They're like, so I learned a lot today, learned a lot about this game. Of course, comps not quite as controversial as we thought. Some pretty solid drafting.
We're going to use the word eclectic.
Eclectic? Is
They're
that
not
how
as
we're gonna
eclectic as we thought
I
they were
wanted
going to be.
Riven, I wanted Shaco, I wanted people to kill each other at level 1. And it looks like instead we're going to have a lot of killing each other past level 6 because there's some wombo combo going on in this game. This is some dirty potential for team fights.
Honestly wish the LPL drafted as well as these two teams actually drafted for this game. This is, they have great compositions on both sides. Like you said, the easy one is to look at them and say, for the wombo combo, I mean, that's pretty obvious. You got multiple ball delivery services on the side of Cal right there. Your golden bears, let's hear it. That's all we got.
Nice, good job, audience.
Meanwhile, on the other side, the Stanford tree. Okay,
hey, it's a tree. Yeah, cardinal. I thought bird. I was wrong. I thought position in the church. Also wrong.
Single tree. There's no S.
Single tree.
No, but you got
the axe feels kind of BM, as like a token to pass back and forth when your thing is a tree.
Oh, that makes so much sense now.
But I mean, the other one is a bear. So is that like, I don't know, weird messaging there. That's all I'm gonna say. Interesting rivalry though. Of course, very historic. 1892, the starting date.
He quickly flicks through his notes to find the dates. No, back to the composition. So very obvious ball delivery service with Cal's composition. On the other side, you have great disengage tools like what the desk was talking about. Anytime that Zach or that Kennen try to come in, you have the headbutt, you have the Lee Sin kick, you have the Poppy ultimate to reset and clear that away. What's also great about these comps is their siege potential. You have the Caitlyn there, and then anytime Lissandra is on a composition, it sounds really weird to call her decent at sieging when she's known so much for her strong engage potential, but you always have to be aware of that threat. Anytime she approaches a tower and she throws out her claw, if she executes on that, she's going to be under your tower throwing down the frozen tomb. So it forces you to back off the structure. So both these compositions, it's all about their side vision management and if they can get off a superior flank.
And of course, that is assuming that these teams are going to match up evenly on the mechanical level, that we are going to get out of this early game unscathed, because the big question the desk was talking about is how are these teams going to match up? We do, of course, have some stronger players on one side. It's not quite an even matchup in terms of, raw elo, in terms of the solo queue grind, but the team environment is very different. We're going to have to see how these guys perform under the pressure, how they perform on the stage, because for a lot of them, this is, of course, the first time in an event this size.
And we actually can talk about kind of this discrepancy between MMR in the bottom lane while we're looking at it. So Turkey Master and Beastly, they're actually the biggest discrepancy players on the team. Turkey Master right now is sitting at Diamond 2. Beastly's representing your Platinums here at Platinum 4. And they're also playing very different styles of lane. The fact is Ezreal's a trading laner. He's not going to be able to push as effectively as Caitlyn. He's very reliant on the itemization of the Iceborne Gauntlet. That's why it's kind of a staple through Ezreal's build path. We'll keep our eyes on Beastly to see if he goes that route or the Trinity Force route before his wave clear becomes strong, with Caitlyn just has it built in.
Oh, Pal the Great maybe in trouble. Chaos just going to walk up, looking for a little bit of engage here. Only level 2 for Fidix. Isn't going to move in. Doesn't have the claw, it looks like. Doesn't want to commit the flash either. So nothing actually going to be lost there. Chaos Shade just taking a little time in the mid lane.
Yeah, just trying to see if he can force out one of the summoner spells. Should be noted that Pau the Great, Alex Pau, there in the mid lane on Orianna, is running the cleanse and the flash, so doesn't have the ghost available, whereas Fidix has the teleport, so there is the possibility of double TP cross-map plays for Stanford here. So big questions on their communication and if they will be able to execute that type of play.
And additionally, of course, is Fidix going to get the time to roam as Pau continues to push in here? The desk was curious. Lissandra has to roam, wants to get those big plays off. We're all curious. Dippy, great name.
Formerly known as Mr. PHB. I have to say that I like Dippy.
Dippy's a nice change. It's simple, it's to the point. Dippy right now, though, not having a good time on the top side of the map. 17 to 20 in the CS department, and like a boss, is moving his way in.
Both junglers up into the top side. It's going to be Zach versus Kennen, and it's really about the type of CC that Cal have and if they can layer it. As I say that, though, Chaos Shade, I wanted to call him Shaco. He's a big Shaco player, but he's playing Lee Sin this time, has actually backed up into the jungle, which gives Dippy the code to just play it safe and let the wave push in and pick up the free CS where you can.
It's hard for me to root for Chaos Shade. He plays Shaco and Udyr.
He's
this man is like my solo queue nightmare. Like, if I ever see this guy, I'm just going to be so upset. Takes it, he's like, Lee Sin, we're going to play the competitive pick, we're going to take it seriously, but I cannot handle Shaco.
He doesn't just play Shaco and Udyr, he also plays Singe jungle. Okay, this guy is an absolute
Singe,
troll.
of course, a big topic of controversy in the League of Legends community. Where is it acceptable?
Not my support.
Nothing happening, of course, in the early game so far. Teams waiting. Level 6 going to be the big break point across the board. So many ults, so much potential for combos here.
I was expecting aggression, you know, people wanting to fight each other all the time.
It's their first time on the stage, Frosco. They're
Siren
scared.
set me up for so much disappointment. We'll give it, though. I mean, they have the big 5v5s.
It's literally all Zyrene's fault,
it's
everyone,
all
in
Zyrene's
case you're wondering. Moving in, a lot of pressure, moving into the favor of Cal. Seem to be taking control of the lanes across the board. Small CS advantage for Lissandra.
This is actually important, though, if Fidix is going to pull the trigger on the TP right there, because there is actually a window where Chaos Shade is on the bottom side of the map, and there it goes. Instead of the TP possibly going bottom for a ridiculous aggressive play, which would be crazy, this is much smarter to consolidate for the farm mid. But, you know, a girl can dream.
No aggression.
He's going for the gank anyway.
Don't hold it back. Moving in, no TP. Kennen, of course, and Poppy both available to go in. Justin and Beastly.
Zach's on the wing. Dun-dun.
Chaw's theme song slowly playing. Goes in for the headbutt pulverize, but he bit off a little more than he can chew. The cow is in no man's land. Lisa decides to move in too. It's a pile in on a big bad voodoo. Get a big bad shot to the face there. Gonna have to walk away, but neither team losing anything in that exchange, but there's the aggression we were waiting for.
Meanwhile, on the top side, though, Fidix actually wandering straight into a pause. So we can quickly recap what happened bottom. First and foremost, both of the supports did trade a lot of their health there, but they both have a ton of pots to sit back on. So no innate advantage given because they have a lot of health still to work with.
Interesting, too, of course, saw Lissandra setting up for the topside gank, and we'll keep you updated on the pause as we move forward, hopefully going back into the game. But that's the level 6 Lissandra. This is the engaged potential we're waiting for, paired with the Poppy. I think I pretty much feels like a guaranteed kill if Kennen doesn't just immediately flash out of respect.
I mean, he has a lot of mobility. We don't necessarily know what the communication is going to be and how they're going to layer the CC between the Poppy, between the Lissandra. So there are definitely windows where Kennen can make his way out of this. So now it's big answer time. You know, what is the type of execution? I love the dancing behind us.
I was going to say, the crowd is excited. Exuberant, you could even say. Two men holding each other, dancing. Can you imagine anything more perfect to celebrate?
Not Miss America.
Oh my God. Well, now Fidix moving up. We're going to have to see the chain CC is coming in. NX is going to get locked up. Decent amount of damage down, but he gets so much CC, they are going to ult him, and he's going to drop. That's first blood in the favor of the Cardinal.
And there's the chain CC that we wanted to see. Again, it was a question of what was the execution going to look like for these teams, because they drafted, you know, really standard, really great compositions across the board. You know, we didn't see the crazy things that we were expecting, but did they have the mechanics behind those compositions to execute them? And answer so far is yes. In response, they also have the macro plays. You know, Cal taking the Ocean Drake.
Good spot to be, of course, trading it back and forth. So a kill traded over for the Ocean Drake in the end. Trade for them, but of course a small gold lead in the favor of Stanford. Have to see how they capitalize on the top side of the map. And if Poppy can start to pull ahead here, Chaos Shade taking control of the mid lane as Lissandra makes her way back.
And the Ocean
that man is just hungry for CS. Like, there are Raptors there that he could take.
Well, he definitely will also get the experience as well, and Lee Sin level 6 means a lot. I had big questions about what the back would be for Big Voodoo there on the Braum, especially because he has the Ocean Drake. Instead of going for a mobility boots or a boot start rush, he's actually going to prioritize the Sight Stone. And the reason why is because with the Ocean Drake, it would allow him to stay more time on the field, you know, moving around because he has that innate regen, but instead just trying to make sure his lane's safe. So it should mean that Cal want to continue to just bunker down into their lanes, feed that farm into the Caitlyn, look towards that 3-item power spike.
Beastly, of course, really going to take his time to scale up here as he has picked the Cole in the tier. So pretty much matching. Both teams maybe looking to wait a little bit longer into the game, wait for these larger power spikes. Caitlyn getting the BF sword here would be pretty tough for Ezreal to deal with. Caitlyn making it back into time. Not to miss the CS.
Here comes Zach.
Here comes Zach Beastly. Not going to get caught up there. Nice. Moving forward, flashes forward, wants to get a little bit aggressive here. I don't think there's anything here for you like a boss. Not committing anyway, though. Stacks coming in, no Alistair level 6. Beastly not scared. Moving up to trade, here comes the TP. Stanford looking for more. Chaos Shade on the way back is going to get canceled out in the end. Lisa not concerned, wants to continue forward.
Yeah, everyone trying to go all in, but great communication for the Golden Bears across the board. The fact that Pau in that mid lane doesn't move at all. You know, it's Lissandra's roaming down. I don't have eyes on her. We're not going to fight this anyway. Hold on to the teleport. You now have an advantage for Panda in the top side. We'll make a play later on with our numbers advantage due to that summoner spell.
Of course, Fiddick clearing out the mid lane as well. I think it's going so far so good for both sides, relatively even trades, but like a boss, just looking to rinse and repeat here.
He has the Alistair flash. Justin just now has the level 6, so a bit more survivability and tankiness on that character, but still definitely a target.
Ezreal hitting it as well. JCC goes in. Pau the Great is going to cleanse, but it's too early. Lee Sin goes in for the montage play, and Chaos Shade walks away with the kill. The TP canceled from the top side as well, and that's pure advantage to Stanford.
Yeah, and there goes that summoner spell advantage that Panda was able to retain there. Wow. It's really hard when you're not used to their names.
I'm sorry, is Panda X42 not just flow off the tongue?
Xiao Wei Xiao, Sao Mei.
They're not, you know, the names aren't optimized for casters. They're going to pick what they want.
I don't know, Turkey Master is a pretty excellent name.
Not a Turkey fan.
I do appreciate, though, that Big Bad Voodoo exchanged the numbers from his name. He had a bit of elite spelling originally.
Were you really going to say it? Like,
it took me about 5 minutes to read. I'm not going to hide that fact.
All right, well, Dippy doing decently well on the top side. Lee Sin happy to pick up that early kill. And overall, Fiddix, the man who's been making plays happen across the map, getting great value out of this Lissandra pick. And now Stanford with a decent lead in their favor. We have to see how they capitalize on the advantage they've built.
And Zyrene said it on the desk, you know, Fiddix and Pau there, Alex in the mid lane, are both evenly matched in terms of their MMR. Both Diamond 2, they got comfort champions. You know, the Orianna, the Lissandra, it's one of Fiddix's favorite champions. He's very confident on it, and it's just a difference of who's getting unlocked from their lane. You know, Fiddix does have the advantage of having that TP, but he hasn't relied on it. It's really just been his confidence in knowing when he's pushing his wave out and when he has the space to move either bottom or top side.
And of course, Pau has to be so scared because he burned the cleanse in the previous play and went down anyway. So the potential for a follow-up gank is definitely real, and Chaos Shade may be looking to capitalize on it.
Which is also why you see Like a Boss hovering off to the side, not only because he needs to hand over this blue buff, but there is that potential that I need to keep my mid laner safe while he has that cleanse down.
Of course, Ocean Drake continuing to tick up as well. So Orianna can comfortably just clear the ways, look to avoid
He just needs to step back. Oh no.
He does not get to set the terms of engagement here. Kick back, the insect, the style play coming in from Chaos Shade. All goes in from Orianna, flash, but the auto from Fiddix gonna close it out.
In the end, he does manage to trade Summoner for Summoner, but not ideal situation. As soon as Like a Boss left the mid lane, he needed to back up. But speaking of mid, now we're bot.
Beastly knocked up, but he does input buffer on the E, is able to make it out with the Arcane Shift. The ult comes in from Braum, but Alistair is tanking everything, still alive. Is going to body block in the end. Turkey Master not going to walk away with anything but the TP being completed. Fiddix does get trapped up, is going to commit in anyway. He wants that kill. He has the ultimate still, wants to get it, looking for the shard. They're lined up. They're in the perfect position. He wants more. He's going to grab one. They're going to try to turn. The red buff is ticking down. He doesn't get it. He goes into the blobs. There is nothing here for Like a Boss, and Stanford are going to take him out like it's nothing.
I mean, Fiddix right now is the running back for Stanford, just moving straight underneath, right on top of Caitlyn, opening up that gank and turning around the kills and the pressure for them.
I don't know what a running back does, so I'll assume you're on point
their
with that analogy.
Their number one player on their football team is the running back number 5.
I'm learning.
There you go.
It's an educational experience in this college game. Of course, this is maybe not what we initially expected, looking at the way that these lineups would play out. Fiddix is having a way bigger impact than we could imagine from a single player, and Stanford seem to be very much in control.
It's one player in particular. Yes, they're working together as a unit, as we do take a look at that replay right there. Big issue is the fact that the Caitlyn ultimate is pretty much making Turkey Master completely unmovable when he has flash and he has the range. If he had flashed forward on the Caitlyn instead of locking up into her ultimate and just finished that off with an auto attack, would have been better. And then, like you said, Fiddix goes underneath the Zac, lands right on top of Caitlyn, and just causes chaos in the back line.
And it's just such a close fight. You can see how many low health bars there are. This is an absolute brawl on the bottom side of the map.
But it just came down to execution, and on the day, Fiddix had it better.
Nice pullback. Fiddix tried to reactivate the E, not in time, though. Could be in trouble moving forward. Does not have the ultimate. No Frozen Tomb means he's going to drop in the shutdown. for Cal.
And Cal now recognizing where the star player is for Stanford, at least for this early portion of the game. They pick him up just in time to contest this dragon, and teleport is not available for Lissandra. So if Stanford want to contest this, they just need to hold off long enough for that respawn timer.
And they're down 2K, but Cal are moving in to take their second dragon of the game. Infernal will be a huge boon as they move forward. So many damage threats on this lineup. The Kennen, the Orianna, and the Kaylin. Chaos Shade maybe looking to contest this one. Poppycopter revved up, not going to connect at all. Lee Sin going to move in, and he's going to get it. A perfect steal to close out. Will trade his life. But once again, Stanford, the kids just keep on coming.
I mean, Diamond 5 versus Plat 3, and Plat 3 knows how to press his buttons better in that case. Whoa. Lands the smite. It's true, it happened.
He's just a boy, Frosco. But, you know, that's the thing. He's like, the Lee Sin is just so brutal to play against because you're not going to out.
It wasn't even just the Lee Sin. The fact that it was perfectly timed with the Ezreal ultimate coming across. Again, Zyrene's like padded on the desk. He's like, they're just here to play for fun. You know, we're going to see some crazy picks. They insta-lock like the most hardcore.
Yeah, like he's here to destroy someone's self-confidence. Someone is walking away from this like super disappointed.
We were trying to not bait the players in the lobby, but, you know, kind of get a feel for their personality. And we're like tell us a fun fact about yourself. We're expecting them to be like, my favorite color is blue. He's like, they're going down.
We're going to destroy them today. We're like, oh, that's nice. Like, any response? No.
Your band got banned? We're about to ban you. Like, they came at each other pretty hard.
I don't know if their band actually got banned. I don't know if that's true.
That's what
we're
they
not
said.
up to date. Keep you informed.
I don't have
second-hand collegiate information, of course. But game of board, this is a sizable lead. I mean, 1K, not the end of the world, but Lissandra at 3-1 and 2 this early in the game can be pretty overwhelming. Gets to dictate the pace of the game. We saw how many resources they took to shut down Liss.
What's bigger for me is the fact that Lissandra died at such a key moment in the game. That Infernal Drake would have meant a lot for Cal's, you know, return scaling into the game. And the fact that even at a man disadvantage, they were able to coordinate through multiple members to pick up the dragon anyway. Just super impressive from Stanford. You know, we looked across MMR like, this is an easy game for Berkeley. Guess not.
Oh, moving in, getting the setup, knocking back the Kaylin. The Brahm's not blocking anything. Beastly wants to move forward, but the stacks are going forward. Turkey Master's going to drop. Beastly is going to grab his first kill of the game, and Lee Sin just keeps making the plays.
And it's just looking too easy at this point. The fact that Fidix won the top side of the map so hard and helping out Dippy, and it allows Chaos Shade to expend more time in that middle lane into the bottom lane. They're not going to trade this for first pick, and there's zero response from Berkeley.
Nothing that they can do. No pressure in the favor in their lanes. Like a boss finally making his way into mid, maybe looking to get something, but Lissandra is just so safe. The Rod of Ages already completed. The ultimate up and available. Flash coming off cooldown soon as well.
And it's the immediate difference in the posturing. Remember, when Pau didn't have his jungler off to the side, when we said he needed to take a step back, he took a step forward, he opened himself up, and he got killed. When Fidix doesn't have his jungler underneath him, immediately he's just like, you know what, it's not worth it. He's going to hang by his tower and farm safely. It's just very different on how these teams are playing with information and vision on the map.
Yeah, very aware play. Some pretty high-level plays coming in on the side of Stanford.
I'm impressed.
Really good coordination overall, and looks like they're going to continue this trend. Alistair and Lee Sin grouping up, a terrifying duo. Fidix has to be careful. Ult does come in, does have the ability to self-ult. The chain CC is perfect, though, and Cal are going to grab that one uncontested.
Yeah, unfortunately, that flash just about to come off of cooldown wasn't there when the initial shockwave came down, and just beautiful CC change and execution from Like a Boss and Pal the Great.
Like a Boss, we were critical of his ability to smite, but 3-1 and 0, a solid stat line to start the game. Justin doing his best to protect the pink ward, but maybe going to go in here. No, I'm just going to give that one over in the end.
And we know that they've fallen behind pretty significantly in the gold lead, but due to their composition, they still have the big wombo combo effect. And even when you fall behind pretty much 10K on a wombo combo,
if everybody pushes R, somebody is going to die.
It just needs one choke point.
Oh, ult coming in, the trap goes down. Fidix going to sidestep, could potentially be in trouble. Remember, still has ult and flash available. And he's going to flash out, 3 stacks of concussive blows. Kennen not going to find the final auto.
Here comes the other TP. He's not going to hit anything. Just go mid. Yep,
Don't
they've got
coach them. Cast them.
They've got the inside track on the mid lane, and they're going to poke as they try to come around, which means that Cal either needs to look for a big flank right now, or they have to go all the way around and lose chip damage on their tower. Again,
Wombo combo. Look at the Zac. Where's the Orianna? Zac's in the middle of the team. The Kennen goes in. He's going to get locked down. Fidix is potentially in trouble. There's no follow-up, so Lissandra does so much damage. the true shot barrage on the backside to break down the Kennen and Cal. They've got so many healthy bars, but they've lost a member already.
And it's the fact that Phoenix is so far ahead of the clock. 3, 2, and 3 right now on this Lissandra. He's so tanky. He has the Rod of Ages. He has the Negatron Cloak. That even though they layered their abilities well, it wasn't enough to burst him with the Frozen Tomb, which means that they were able to turn it around. That was pretty much kind of best case scenario for Cal. Could have gotten a little bit better, hit more members, but it's really disappointing that that wasn't executed as well.
And it's terrifying to see, too, because you can see how much of their team is magic damage. Poppy already with the Spirit Visage to respond. Lee Sin building MR of his own. The only AD threat is the Caitlyn, and she is so far behind right now. Ezreal already approaching the Frozen Fist or the Trinity Force, where Caitlyn still struggling to complete that first major item.
I wanted to talk about this a bit earlier, but now is a good time. It's kind of the bridging of power on these compositions. So if you think about when people pop off, I mean, we use these repeated words like power spikes, like item breakpoints. Effectively think of it like a baton. Stanford, they have really good bridging of power in terms of Lee Sin has it early, then he hands it to Lissandra, then she hands it to Ezreal, and then it kind of falls off. Ezreal will do great damage late game, but it's much harder to manufacture than someone like Caitlyn, who's just going to sit there and auto attack, whereas the Golden Bears, they don't necessarily have a great bridging point of power. They kind of stumble around early game a bit. They're really reliant on their level 6, but once they hit those 3 items, once Orianna starts coming online, once Caitlyn comes online, then they scale beautifully into late game. So if they can just continue to survive to that point, and they have great wave clear options to stall out Stanford, they're going to be a force to be reckoned with in the late game that I don't know if Stanford have the tools on their kit to combat.
We're going to get cleared out here. Cal doing their best to stop the bleeding, putting down a little bit of vision on the coming dragon.
Big thing,
already in control.
Stanford have to make this count. This is their window of opportunity to win the game pretty much here and now, or at least put a lead where they can close this out before Cal come online. So they need to get this dragon, they need to snowball it into a team fight, and they need to start picking up these towers probably within the next 5 to 12 minutes.
And of course, while they're fighting and looking to contest this dragon area, Kennen is just pushing on the top side of the map, starting to recoup some of the early losses there, but I'm going to start to focus down the mid lane. Zach nearby, ready to move in at a moment's notice. They have the wombo combos, the constant potential for engage, but Poppy is there, ready at a moment's notice to disrupt. The Alistar as well. This is an opportunity, though. Stanford are grouped up. Have to respect the AoE here.
If they want to take this, they just want to take the fight. It's not necessarily important for the dragon.
You can immediately see the disengage, though. Justin gonna stop the engage. That's the shockwave! The dirty combo coming in. Cal playing to win here, but it's simply not enough. Phoenix still alive, but the only source of AD steadily whittling him down. Dippy potentially in trouble, does get CC'd, does get knocked out. Cal is turning it around. Stanford has overstepped, and they are knocked down.
Just massive shockwave. That's the wombo combo AoE. It doesn't matter the gold deficit, and this is a big swing for Cal. They won at exactly the right moment, because think of how long Stanford have been struggling to break mid-tier tower. Cal take a single fight. Yes, they lose just an Ocean Drake, but it's immediately one structure down, possibly more.
Phoenix has to be careful here, cannot afford to overcommit. No flash available. The trap zoning him off like a boss. Ready to punish in an instant, and the tower now set to fall here. 2 towers in the mid lane taken after an impressive fight. Means Cal with a 2K gold lead, and now in clear control on the mid lane.
That's devastation. Again, Turkey Master was behind clock. He's now pretty much on it right now for his Caitlyn itemization. Again, you're looking for the completed Infinity Edge as well as 2 Zeal items.
Excellent place to be overall. Orianna similarly, very lackluster early game, getting caught out time and time again, but this time was the huge component into getting that fight going. Ken and Zach, solid engage across the board, and like a boss, 4-1-3, a stellar scoreline for the jungler on the side of Cal.
Knowing exactly what his responsibility is. He is set up in the flank again, but it's just Orianna, which means that this tower will fall in response. And ladies and gentlemen, we're either going to look topside or we're going to look towards the Baron.
They're looking to get it. That Stanford, though, making moves of their own to come back. They get the mid lane turret. They're now set to take top as well. Both teams maneuvering towards the top side. Will we see another fight? Are they just going to back off? Are they going to give this one up? And walking away.
They have to give it up because it's such a precarious situation. If you're caught out and the incorrect positioning, immediately a team is going to rush towards Baron. Like, you cannot afford another mistake. We just saw how punished Stanford were when they just took a wrong fight next to a dragon to lose a tower. Anyone loses here, it's automatically Baron as long as they have the health.
And it's a terrifying place to be because the gold is almost dead even now after those tower takes. 300 difference. Orianna's farming on the side lane. She has no TP. One aggressive move from Fidix from the side of Stanford could turn this game in an instant. Are they going to take the opportunity? Caitlyn trying to zone off, trying to stop the potential follow-up.
They're able to do this simply because Caitlyn has the completed Hurricane, so looking for the double AD items out of the Infinity Edge, and then going for the wave clear. So even though they don't have the double TP, they're making the use of their Orianna, their Caitlyn compositions. Again, they have so many tools to stall out Stanford anytime they approach a tower, but it's just making sure that they curb their aggression. Our Orianna's not here. Even if we want to engage, we shouldn't. Just clear the tower.
Good patient play coming in from Cal, so critical of their early mistakes, but they have managed to shift it. They've come into the mid game, they've gotten past some of those weaker points. Of course, still waiting for that 3-item break point, but that one team fight really keeping them in this game, not only stopping the bleeding, but giving them control back on their side of the map. But as you said, it's no longer just about the lanes. Now we're looking at the Baron, these big, massive objectives in one single fight, potentially deciding the game.
So both teams want to be playing towards the top side of the map, not just because of the Baron. That is the primary objective for Stanford because they have more control over the top side since they took down that outer tower. But Cal also want to take the easiest outer structure themselves, which is also Stanford's top side, which means walking blindly into a bush like this, definitely not a good scenario.
Look, man, some people look up to Mata, some people look up to Hachani. You know, you can't judge them for their idols.
Hachani won MVP.
He was really good, actually. He's famous for face-checking bushes, but that man stepped up. Fidix, though, potentially caught out here, is just going to walk away. Glacial Path, an easy escape route, and going to be focused on clearing these waves, of course, has the TP. 4 members of Cal here on the top side, a 5th one on the way, but has to delay. Alistair and Ezreal are moving up.
The only reason that Fidix is so confident to sit on the tower like this, especially because he didn't initially have vision of Kennen, is because of the posturing and position of Justin on Alistair. He was sitting in the river, he's laid down the vision, so offering a lot of security for Fidix to safely wave clear that tower, knowing that Kennen could swing around behind him. And now they're starting to play that double teleport meta. You know, they've got Poppy, Dippy here, now shoving in the bottom side.
And you can see Fidix constantly throwing out the Glacial Path, ready to threaten and engage. If Pau missteps, if anyone missteps, he will flash forward, he will use the tomb in an instant. Pause, of course, coming out. A brief respite, a brief break.
So many wombo combo comps, but it's now mostly about the double TP.
This is the thing about the wombo combo. We're guaranteed to have at least one just absolutely insane team fight. But both teams have to be so scared, because if you make one wrong move, if you stack 3 people because you think you're going to win a fight and Orianna gets an ult or Zach makes his way into the middle of your team, you're dead. You're all dead and the game is over. So respect to playing safe.
What it means is it makes vision that much more important. And as I want to deep dive on the vision point, it's like, nope, back into game.
The collegiate vision has its own unique meta. 2 pink wards in the bush. Guaranteed double vision, Kyle.
This is scary.
Fidix, Pau, moving forward. Potentially an engage here in the jungle. This might not be the fight that they want. Fidix has already used the Glacial Path. Pau is off on his own. Beastly in trouble. Trying to get the solo kill from the Orianna. Does use the ult in the end. Chaos Shape caught out. Fidix is going to take down the mid laner. Jungler going to drop in the end. Piltover Peacemaker taking him down. Turkey Master should be able to pick up Justin. That's the double kill, but Fidix overstays his welcome. Isn't going to get the chance to reactivate. No ult available, but concussive blows. And Cal pull away with the advantage.
And initially where the communication looked great for Stanford, you know, stealing that dragon, utilizing the Ezreal ult as well as the Lee Sin steal, suddenly they look completely disjointed. Beastly ditched out of that fight so quickly as Fidix was coming around the corner, so Lissandra's saying go, and Ezreal was like, nah man, farm mid.
Wants the safety in the end. Cal, unlike we initially predicted, are not going to take the risk on the Baron. Do not want to have that one taken away. Going to go with the safe bet here and move into the top lane tower. Should give them a marginal goal lead at this point in the game.
Also helps them reset their waves. They do have a big wave building onto the top side. We'll see if Pau walks towards that just to kind of nudge it along a little bit more. But in a second, they're actually going to have all 3 waves pushing forward as well as that Drake spawning. So there's an opportunity where Stanford can rush towards the Drake, try to burn it down as quickly as possible, or teleport to it. Or they could walk into the Baron and try to clear out and control the vision there. It looks like it's going to be a Drake priority.
And of course, they have the double blue trinkets up on the Baron, so they know that they're not going to be traded back and forth here. The potential for the setup. This was disaster last time. Can they afford to go in? They're trying to go in on the Orianna. She's going to cleanse. Are they grouped up? Not close enough. Going in, just hitting Justin. Kennen moves forward. Beastly is safe on the back line, but like a boss, looking to change that. Kennen uses the Zanyas. Lissandra's still up and available, burning through the cooldowns. Panda's going to get healed up. Double kill for the mid laner. Like a boss is still alive on the back side. The Zac passive procs. Orianna's on the way in. Beastly is down. Chaos Shade not even going to get the consolation prize. Double kill for Turkey Master. And Cal clean up.
Turkey Master was effectively untouched that entire team fight. I mean, there was a point where Caitlyn actually wasn't even orb walking. She was just sitting still and autoing everyone. If you don't get to her, she's going to destroy your team, especially now. Check out the itemization. Infinity Edge, Hurricane, second seal. Caitlyn's at her breakpoint, and so are Cal.
Terrifying place to be once again. The first loss for Stanford came in when they fought for that dragon. They tried again, and they lost again. Not where they wanted to be. Cal clearly in the lead now. Baron backing them up, along with almost a 5K gold lead, and almost instant shift in favor.
Stanford may have won the last 6 football games, but Cal are here to fight as we take a replay.
See Pau the Great trying to do anything that he can. Justin gets knocked out here. Kennen even gets pushed away, but the Zac is absolutely unkillable. Beastly does not have the damage. Gauche, no damage either. Zac spends the entire time tanking these 2 members as steadily the rest of the team just get cleared out. And insult to injury is the Zac passive, almost taunting him there from the shallow grave as he comes back.
Then immediately the teleport coming in as we go straight back into a dive.
Bounce house coming out. Fidix set to fall. He's going to heal up a little bit, but not much else going to be able to happen. Snares the team. The 4-man snare, though, when no one else is around, not quite as exciting.
But that's so greedy. Check out where everyone else is on the map for Stanford. There's no reason why Fidix should be that far out, even with all of the safety that Lissandra offers him.
All the praise we gave Fidix in the early game, such a proactive playmaker in the end.
And again, checking in on Beastly, he's got the completed Trinity Force. So we said at the very beginning of the game, Ezreal is super item dependent on Iceborne Gauntlet to wave clear effectively, giving him that AoE chip onto the creep wave. Without Lissandra and for Ezreal going Trinity, they have 0 wave clear. Turkey Master can approach any of these towers and just take them for pretty much free.
It has the traps down as well, so it's just so hard to make your way into the back line. And Dippy, no freedom to get aggressive here, has to stay, has to protect if Zac comes over the wall with that Orianna ball attached. And the whole team can get just absolutely crushed here. Stanford on the back foot in such good control. Nope, blocks him out there. Justin making sure that they have the disengage. Lots of cooldowns burned. Fidix ready to go in, but does not follow up. Inhibitor tower now set to fall. Stanford not going to find the engage. Turkey Master's low, like a boss goes in. Kennen tries to get the engage going. Stanford with an excellent disengage, but do they have the damage to turn this one? Shockwave not going to be majorly impactful. Justin moves forward, the sacrificial lamb for the team. Like a boss shut down, no passive available. Stanford holding on to the inhibitor.
Yep, holding on. Turkey Master actually used his Caliber net to disengage. Lost a couple of crucial auto attacks, especially with that Hurricane to really clean up the back half of the fight, but good defense from Stanford.
Definitely not where they want to be, however, because the 6K gold lead in favor of Cal continues to be terrifying. Stanford may have the advantage in the Dragon department, but Cal coming in big in the gold, and the Orianna quickly approaching the 3-atom point. Looks like Void Staff could be next. All this MR itemization going to be so much worse.
I mean, it really comes down to the fact that we're at the 5v5 point in the game, and that's what Cal's composition is designed to do, even though there's so many tools for Stanford to disrupt that. Again, they have the headbutt, they have the Lee Sin kick, the pop ulti. They've done a good job from disengaging Panda, but even if he's not ulting them on top of their face, he's still creating a massive area of control that as long as Turkey Master is positioned correctly, like, it doesn't matter if the Kennen's on top of you, as long as the Kennen's between you and Caitlyn.
Exactly, you have to pick. Like, you can dive and kill Turkey Master and give up your back line, or you can, you know, punt the Kennen out, so you're not going to make it into our back line, and then realize that there's a Caitlyn bearing down on you, steadily killing your entire team. It's just so hard to play this correctly, even when they are saving these skills and utilizing them perfectly to disengage these fights.
Which means the tactic becomes survival. As long as you survive the initial wombo combo, your clean it becomes far easier just because you're going to be able to rotate through your ability so much more effectively. But you're still across from a Caitlyn. Get to that back line.
Quickly approaching 4 items now as the 3rd item is completed, both the Runeans, as you mentioned, the double zeal, all of this crit almost guaranteed at this point in the game, and Ezreal realizing he needs an option to deal with all the CC, all the hard engage, is going to opt for the QSS. Lissandra in a decent place, but just not quite the same amount of damage output that is needed to take down all of these you know, high damage threats.
Yeah, prioritized more defensive stats as opposed to looking for more offenses or even the Hourglass. Although facing across from a ton of magic damage, so can totally understand why she would prioritize Abyssal so early.
Yeah.
Nice thing about Lissandra, has really flexible itemization.
Of course, paid off very well in the early game, which was nearly unkillable in some of those mid lane dives, but as we move later, as the Void Staff start to come out, one for Kennen, one for the Orianna as well, starts to be a lot less impactful. Of course, a terrifying spot. We said Stanford just holding on, and that's pretty much what it looks like. Clearing the waves, doing the best that they can, but we got to keep our eyes on Fidix, see if maybe they go for a counter engage here, or if they're just going to wait for the Wombo to come to them.
Glad that you bring up Fidix. He's pretty much the shining light for them. As long as he's alive, it means that they will be able to clear out these waves, as you can see them doing very effectively right now on your screen. Although Justin, hello.
Not where you want to be. Has the ult available, but with such a low health pool, it's just not quite as relevant. And of course, without level 16, not quite the same amount of damage reduction. Zach maybe looking for the flank on the side.
Maybe he is 100% looking for the flank on the side.
Look, man, he's clearing wards.
So he can better flank them from the side.
All right.
No, he's not the one on the Gromp, though.
Not going to get a Dippy. Good response. Snare coming out as well, but Fidix still gets caught and popped! Oh, Pow the Great on a rampage. That's exactly what Cal needed. As you mentioned before, no wave clear left on the side of Stanford.
Just so unfortunate when that happens. You're looking at, you know, the Zach coming in, paying attention to what Poppy's doing. The Orianna Bolt just cheekily gets underneath you. He dies with the flash up. Just not what you want to see. They wisely give up the tower and not much more.
And now moving into the mid lane, there's a bottom inhibitor open as well. Caitlyn's not quite here yet as she pushes out the top side, but she is moving in. Beastly has to respect it here. A little bit less protection from him. No real damage remaining yet, although Dippy wants to go in. He's getting frisky. Braum blocking out a decent amount of damage there. Justin once again in trouble. Is going to have to burn ult here. Is so low. No, Nomcow stopping any potential healing, and Cal moving in to break down their second inhibitor turret. Will they find their first inhibitor of the game as well? Chaos Shade in trouble. Panda slowly burning him down, looking for the Protobelt, looking for a little bit of extra damage. Hits two. Turkey Master moving forward, but there's another fight moving on the bottom side as Fidix comes back up. That's the Poppy Nugget, looking for the chain CC. Cannon ult on the backside. Beastly going to make the safety like a boss, knocks him out of the fight. Panda, however, continues uncontested. They pull this out, but Cal are falling apart because Fidix has been left alone to take down the carries of this team, and suddenly Cal overstep their welcome, and Stanford shut them down. No inhibitors have dropped in for Stanford yet, and they will not until the lineup respawns.
And they just lose focus and lose direction. Great, again, defense from Stanford to clean that up. But the fact of the matter is that there was an open inhib on the bottom side of the map. We saw Like a Boss actually wander down there and try to take it himself on Zach, but the rest of the team is just not communicating. They're trying to fight mid lane, just rotate down to your jungler and take the easy objective.
Now Stanford going to pick up their second Infernal Drake of the game. Baron is respawning as well. They can take division control of that area. Lissandra's pushing in the mid lane. They're on the path to even this gold lead back out, and Cal have to give more respect to their opponents. Moving in, Dragon going to drop. The next move, of course, the big question mark. 2 inhibitors open. Of course, Cal still a sizable lead. Maybe they just rinse and repeat. Maybe they go for the bottom side of the map, but Baron has to be respected. We can take a look exactly how this fight unfolds.
My favorite moment of this is when Big Voodoo actually jumps into the Lee Sin kick. Just hops right on the back of Panda. Panda's then going to flash underneath and get right onto that backline because Beastly has just used his arcane shift forward. But unfortunately for Cal, Fidix has shown up just in time and just deletes Caitlyn. So we traded backlines. Fidix went out that time around.
Rough spot to beat Fidix, hitting an amazing ult onto multiple people, and Justin just keeps knocking him back into the team. Of course, it's a slow cleanup in the end there, so many tanky members, but Baron now has to be the center of our attention. Scuttlecrab in favor of Cal. The Wombo combo potential is there, and Justin once again caught out, but Poppy is moving in on the top side. Maybe getting frisky. Panda's the one who's going to be caught out. No cannon ult available. Does he have the Zon? Just does not look like it. That is big for Stanford. Will they now move on to the Baron? It looks like they're hungry for more kills, but they cannot group for Pow. Pow not going to find it quite yet.
But at this point, Cal don't, like, the onus isn't on them. They just need to make sure that Stanford don't do the Baron, and it's very dangerous just because Pow still has his Shockwave, his Flash, and a ton of mana
Justin
available.
Face checked the bush once before. Did not cost him his life. That time it might have. Unbreakable Will, of course, off cooldown. Can cleanse out of that CC.
It's far more important right now for Cal is that they need to pay attention to the building creep waves on both their top and their bottom waves. They're not pushing against them yet, but they will be. And again, you're competing against a double teleport.
Dippy overstaying his welcome. He's just going to get cut down. Turkey Master's just auto-attacking, and Stanford failed to pull the trigger. They're just going to give up one member for absolutely nothing.
It's just one of those awkward moments where I'm like, Poppy's fine. Like,
no, I'm good, guys. No, I'm good.
You know, with a color caster keeps talking, he's like, there's no way that guy's going to die. He's gonna push him away. He's not fine. He's not moving. Dippy, what? So, Dippy, please.
I love your name, but that decision was poor.
It's fine. He's got teleport.
Yeah, you're all right. Baited. They're going to bait them into the Baron with the Poppy death.
It doesn't mean anything. But there we go. So I was talking about the building creep waves on the side, and this was the perfect moment. The fact that Dippy did go down, it gave a little bit of breathing room to the Golden Bears, that they were able to quickly rush to the top side, quickly rush to the bottom side, and get those creep waves pushing away from them. Because again, if Stanford get really desperate, they can just pull that really obnoxious card where it's like, we have double teleport, and we're going to force you to TP when we approach the Baron. We're going to back off, and then we're going to use our other TP to continually play the bottom side of the map.
Now, of course, Stanford, as you mentioned, the double TP is giving them a lot of flexibility here. We'll have to see how they use it because Cal clearly...
They haven't used it yet. So we're really curious when Lysandra is actually going to kick over to the bottom side of the map. Big question is, can they burn the TP on Panda by continuously playing this Baron dance? Once they get that, as long as they can disengage, which again, they have so many tools to disengage, the Poppy, the Lisa, and the Alistar, then just reset it up. It's a game of patience right now.
FedEx moving in. Not going to move in, just throwing the claw over the wall. Now, in your opinion, I mean, we've got the wombo combo on one side, we've got the split push, the potential for the 1-3-1 here.
You have wombo combo on both sides.
True. Who has the easier path to execution here?
I think anytime that you just need to press 5 ultimates at the same time is far easier.
I feel like I can push R. I feel like these people can push R.
I would definitely say so. I've been very impressed with the caliber and quality of play as well as the decision-making generally across the board in this match. We didn't know what we were going to get. We were told that neither of these two teams actually competed in the collegiate league, so it was kind of a question mark coming in, but I've been honestly very surprised and enjoying it.
Yeah, some of these pretty confident executions. 15-19, an appropriate kill score. Was not bloody for the first 5 minutes, we were concerned, and then it got very bloody.
It just,
very fast.
I think, speaks to how seriously these teams are taking it, that this rivalry goes deeper than just on the football field.
Oh, Zach. Stretching it out, just going to force the arcane shift out of Beastly. Not going to find it engaged there, and of course, both these teams, as you said, playing very safe, playing very far back, just looking for a single opening or opportunity, but creep wave's starting to build. Someone having to respond soon.
Creep waves will build, which means that someone's going to give up positioning on Baron, which then leads to one team moving in, clearing out all the vision. And why that's so important is, again, both these teams are really reliant on flanking vision because they both have the big AoE wombo combo abilities. But Cal are going to pull the trigger, not knowing that they were spotted by a ward that's now died.
Sandra not going to go, and he is going to go in, moves forward, pops Pal the Great. There is no response. Orianna, no shockwave available to Kennen, trying to turn this one around, but Fidix is alive and well, moving in onto Turkey Master. Doesn't have the damage. Turkey Master pulling out the kill. The lifesteal helping save him as well. Justin doing his best to disengage, but the team going to pull away in the fight, and Stanford are going to come out on top.
Turkey, why? He ran away. He ran away with a GA and a Zac passive up. He literally just like disengaged from the fight. He's like, this, I'm out.
Oh, poor Turkey Master. Doing decent damage now as he pokes over the wall. There is going to be a TP coming in, but it feels like a massive misstep for Cal. Could give Stanford the Baron. Panda's here as well.
There, Turkey.
No ultimate, no proto belt.
Get
Turkey,
him.
decent damage, dodges it. Get in there, Turkey Master, this is your time. Thanksgiving, this is your, no.
Where was the bravery? He literally had a GA on Zac passive. If I'm like a boss, I'm like, Turkey, hello, team, fight him. Just he ran in, and Turkey like just turned around and walked away.
We talked about it, you know, playing as safe as possible, not wanting to give anything up, and Elder Dragon now potentially the center of their attention. TP is being used mid lane. So FedEx going to be in a decent position to respond, but now the bait coming out. I saw the blue trinkets used earlier.
Oh, this is coy.
Oh, this is the classic. This is the EU special, ladies and gentlemen. This is the
Fnatic brush.
Death Brush.
Oh, Fidix.
Winner of many.
No.
Fidix! Oh, goes into the team. Perfect setup. Turkey Master's low. No follow-up. Fidix gonna make it out. The flash. No one can hit him. Oh, Ezreal lows over the wall. It continues to go forward. Chaos Shade is there. Panda, have they missed that? Pal Great is moving forward. Kennen is knocked down. Turkey Master is healing up, though. It's been the one-for-one trade. Support for top laner. In goes the Zac. Sidestep comes out. Ace in the hole. Not going to be quite enough damage. Chaos Shade trying to take them on the wild goose chase. Poppy looking for the disengage. Is not going to connect. Dippy now running for his life. Knocks him away. Steadfast presence is there. But Turkey Master so close to death and just heals up almost immediately.
Turkey Master needs to take some notes from Fidix. That guy falls to the wall. Just like didn't care, didn't have vision, went in anyway. But it will be the Elder Dragon pulled for Cal. Turkey Master, or excuse me, Fidix quickly trying to get in position to stop this.
Watch the Lee Sin. Keep your eyes on Chaos Shade. He's stolen one before like a boss, ready to block it if necessary. They are just going to pull away. Dippy's in the back line. Now trying to make his way out. Vidix not going to go in. Oriana gonna hit 2. Big Bad Voodoo moving forward as well. Turkey Master left uncontested on the opposite side of the wall. It's your time to shine. Beastly hits him though. Beastly goes over. Shut down onto the Caitlyn. Sax drops as well. Stanford taking control. Chaos Shade has the overstep. Pal the Great not too scared, but Lissandra's coming. It's the double kill. Ezreal moving in the hero play. The discrepancy just does not matter. Beastly stepping up.
That is the Diamond 2 player taken down by the Plat 4 Ezreal. Arcane shifts onto him, kills him with a Mystic Shot.
He doesn't even need to spam Mastery emote. The BM is in the ELO, and the Ezreal, king of the fight in that exchange. Dippy playing out of his mind as well. Elder Dragon over to Stanford, and the gold dead even.
For all the patience that we commended Cal for, their ability to fall behind in the early game, make up for that deficit, come back into the late game, secure the Baron. It was looking great for them. It's really been these instant decision-making of, I'm going to step forward. I'm not going to play safe right now. This is the big game. This is the big stage moment. I'm going to make it count. Vidix and Beastly are just beasting this game.
Tearing it apart. They get the Elder Dragon. They pull the trigger. They move right onto the Baron. It's the double bust from hell here. The Cal are going to have to survive through.
They've got the wave clear. They have the options as long as they just don't get dove underneath the tower. Let some structures go. Try to stall out. Take a replay of that fight. This is the hero play. So Turkey Master is going to end up on this little, what are we going to call it, cliff?
Little plateau.
Ledge.
And the double shockwave, it looks so good.
This looks perfect for Turkey Master. The Caitlyn, she's got the range. She can be throwing her auto attacks. Maybe throws a bit too many of the Chaos Shade, but Beastly's like, nah, man. Straight over the wall, just deletes him. Doesn't matter.
Mystic Shot, Arcane Shift, auto attack, Mystic Shot.
Going forward, one direction.
Real good, pushing his buttons.
Nice tree.
Pushed him real good. Beastly, moving forward. One tree.
A single tree.
One desire. It's not Cardinals. It tilts me. I'm sorry.
It's fine.
It's Cardinal.
My favorite team's mascot is a duck, so trees are cool.
Stanford moving in started so well and looked so dark as we came into the mid game, but now clearly in control of the game. Can they be the first team to break an inhibitor? Dippy looking for the disengage. Won't find it, but they will find the inhib tower. Could be an engage here at any moment. Vidix, they're going to break down the inhibitor. What is next for Stanford? Will they back off? Will they look for more?
They can rotate either mid or top. They have a wealth of options at their fingertips. It looks like they're going to go for that mid.
Just going to walk through, pick that mid turret up, not even going to wait for the creep wave, and now turning their attention on the top side. Dead even in the gold after that Elder Dragon take, but now almost a 4K gold lead and will extend as they grab that tier 2 top.
This is so dangerous. Phoenix is approaching from the side. If Lissandra gets behind them and locks them down, it could be game over. If Cal die here, the death timers will be too punishing. The game will end.
Not going to take it, just using it to zone them off. That's the siege you were talking about for the Lissandra in the early game. They have to respect the claw.
And now Stanford can just play the patient game. They have a super creep wave coming in through the bottom. Someone will need to go and attend to that, but they also have a super creep wave coming in through the mid lane.
Moving in, Vidix is going to leap out. Does do a decent amount of damage to the mid lane tower. Cannon still up and available. Baron buff ticking down. Still in the favor of Stanford. One inhibitor broken, looking to make it two. Like a boss, jumping in. They're trying to shut down Lissandra. It doesn't look like it's going to be enough. Cannon moving in. He's just punted out. Nice play by Justin. In goes Lissandra. Shockwave goes wide. They only hit Dippy. They only hit Lee Sin. It's not going to be enough, but Stanford are in trouble because Turkey Master is alive and well. He gets the shutdown. He's uncontested on the backside. Panda leaps forward. This is the turn for Cal. The triple. Looking to make it forward, but Oriana takes it away. And Cal absolutely crushed Stanford.
And finally, the Wombo combo comes out. It's not the big one that we were expecting, but it does the job for Cal right now, and it's just Ezreal left to defend. There are two open inhibitors as well as a wave behind Cal. They're going to try to end this one, but they have to compete with the Baron buff.
40-second timers counting down. Two inhibs sure to fall, but will Cal take the game as well? They're down 2K gold, but they could be the ones to pull ahead here.
A single decision. We said that late game, their composition really should take over, that unless Beastly was able to hit every single skill shot on this Ezreal, that he wouldn't have the answers.
Tower ticking down. Big Bad Voodoo doesn't even need to face the Ezreal. Just turns away. Whispering a sweet goodbye like a boss. Not even going to fall here. GA still up and available. This is ticking down. They don't even have creeps. They're not even concerned. Turkey Master in trouble. Beastly, the shutdown. Can he get it? The rest of the team. Beastly is solo. That's going to be the kill. They're breaking it down. Phoenix is coming in. Flashes over the shockwave. Gets the shutdown. Like a boss moving forward. They're going to be able to walk away. Panda Panda stepping forward. That 60-second death timer's on the other side. Lysandra has TP. Poppy has TP. Will they be able to turn this around? Will they be able to close this out instead? Lee Sin going in. Panda moving forward. Fidix hungry for blood. Zach trying to make his way out. He can't outmaneuver the Lee Sin. Chaos Shade predicts the sidestep. Gets it anyway. That's the kill. 26-26. The gold doesn't matter. But the Poppy is moving in. Panda moving back to his base. Will he be able to defend? Will he be able to get this? Dippy breaking this one down. Melisandre TP coming in as well. Panda has the ult. Panda, the hero play. This is his chance. Can he turn it back? The rest of the team is moving forward. Death timers years away as far as they're concerned. Braum, 8 seconds left and counting down. Stanford moving in. They're ready for a fight. They go over the wall. Panda zoned away from his team. Panda ult comes out. Is he going to get cut down? Does get cut down in the end. Turkey is up and available. He's trying to cut down the Lysandra. The disengage comes out. Not going to connect. Chaos Shade alive and well. Ezreal just respawned. What's going to happen? Are they going to be able to close it out? Turkey's zoned away. Oh, Fidix is uncontested. He can hit the Nexus. He can keep moving forward. But Pal the Great is here. Are they going to be able to do it? Can they do it? Stanford take the game!
Oh my God, Beastly, the god himself. This isn't the scouting grounds. This is just Stanford versus Berkeley. This Ezreal player saves the game from the clutches of defeat, from the depths of hell. Arcane shifts forward, sacrifices his life, and wins the big game for Stanford.
Ted Beastly Lee, remember that name. Hero of collegiate. He earned the axe. Of course, they get it for football, not this, but he earned it. He got that
Literally
axe.
the lowest ELO player on the team. Everyone take that to your placements.
I'm stunned. That was insane. That happens at EU every once in a while. You know, we get to these weird, it just doesn't happen. People don't.
There's literally a play called the XPEK backdoor where that happened.
It's like
There's literally a match on a world stage between OMG and Fnatic where that happened. Like, as an EU LCS caster, you should actually be very used to this.
I'm a little in shock right now. I need you to bear with me, all right? You cut me a little slack here.
That was awesome.
Shout outs to Stanford. What? All right, I was skeptical about the mascot, and I was wrong. The tree is clearly fantastic. We need more plants as mascots. Clearly we're falling flat on that.
See, it all makes sense. That's why Riot put the plants in the jungle now.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, I don't know how we're going to connect that one, but just keep going.
Stanford bias coming through. Of course, we do want to take a chance to look at some of, you know, the past fights. This really
the highlights.
Can we even? Yeah, I don't even know if
it should be wombo combo after wombo combo, but this is the one that started it all. This was actually the early roam by Fidix to get Dippy going into that top side of the map, but Fidix wasn't done there because they automatically back-to-back ganked Pow after burning his flash and then cleaning up in that secondary kill.
And when you look at the start to this game, you have to just be convinced that Stanford are just going to clean house here and just take Cal out pretty easily, which was super surprising. But Cal start making moves to come back in this game, and it kind of absolutely blows away. You can look at the fights that come up here, and got to keep your eyes on how Cal exactly played this game, because that beautiful shockwave, that wombo combo kept them in for so long. And at the end of the day, all of these early game fights, how crucial they were to keep Cal in the game, how some of the later fights kept Stanford moving forward. It's crazy to think that this all came down to one potentially bad decision from Cal to overstep, maybe one potentially good decision from Stanford.
I mean, ultimately, it also was a poor decision from Stanford that initially got Cal into the game. You know, when they hit that incredible shockwave and they were able to immediately run it down mid lane and pick up so much. But these were the heydays for Turkey. The fact that Pandex was doing so much, creating such a great zone, a wide berth there for Caitlyn to just lay down her auto attacks and do the damage. But unfortunately, late game, Turkey let me down a little bit, especially on these Baron plays.
I think we look back at that one moment where he walked out of the fight. This moment.
Yes.
Is it this moment? It's this moment. There's a lot of Baron fights
so
going with me.
This is fair. He disengages because he was taking Baron. Baron resets. He's now going to clean up Fidx. Just straight face tanks that, but just check him on your mini-map. He's still going, the
Big Bad
replay
Voodoo gets caught out here, and this is unfortunately where it goes downhill. We talk about...
This is Lee's first hero play. So Turkey has perfect positioning. He's over the ledge. If he starts to look down towards Dippy or Fidx, he can reach all of them. Ezreal's like, not today.
Coming back. This is like weirdly too movie script-esque for me. The low ELO player shows up. It's just a mentality, man. Don't let it hold. It's just a number.
You'd think that you'd have, maybe some jitters. This is their first time playing on a massive stage like this. They're in front of an IEM Oakland crowd. No fear.
Absolutely no fear. jumps in. Beast Lee. Well-earned name. And of course, this is the moment where we were convinced, Cal, turn it around. The insane plays coming in here. Turkey Master going off. The aggression we wanted to see.
This play. It looks like it's over. Like Cal are just going to clean this up. It's literally Ezreal against the world. Big issue is that creep hasn't hit the tower yet. So the 66% damage reduction was live on the Nexus tower until the creep wave came in, which is why it stalls out, that they're not able to close it out quickly enough.
Doesn't even turn to get this, and it's so,
But it's in that tiny window where the creep wave hasn't hit the tower, and so the damage mitigation hasn't come in, that he's able to make this game-changing play.
And at the end of the day, we look forward, and this is a game where micro decisions come out and change it. But you've heard us pretty much just gawk at the insanity this game was, I think, plenty. So let's hear what the winners have to say about that absolute insane game.
Totina's winner interview. Oh my gosh, is everybody's hearts need to calm down how exciting that match was? Congratulations, Stanford, on your win. Oh my gosh, how are you feeling right now? And what the heck happened over the game?
Dude, so my heart is pumping super quick right now. I totally didn't expect any of that happening. This team, I played with a few of the people for a while, but a lot of the people are new, and everyone's a playmaker, so we've got crazy games. People are going in 1v4, killing people, and I don't know, that game was crazy. Everyone made mistakes, everyone made huge plays, but it was super fun.
Now, you were saying that you only have one of the person that you played with before, and it's almost an entirely new roster. How was that playing with those new guys?
Yeah, so I actually played with the team for about 4 years through Stanford, but everyone graduated this year. I'm staying for a master's. So we wanted to encourage new people at school to play, and so we've got a lot of talented undergrads. So we're hey, let's all get them on. The only person from my old team is my support, Cheston. Shout outs to Cheston. He came back and played support for me. But then we've got 3 people that I don't really play with, and everyone's got their own style. And we've only been playing for a bit, but everyone is super communicative, and everyone's going in, and so it's super fun to play with them.
Well, it's working. And James, I'm sorry about this, but this is the first time on the world stage. How does it feel to compete on the world stage?
Really nervous. Just my first time on a stage, so yeah, definitely shaking.
Guys, make him feel welcome.
Thank you.
So talk to me about this game. So you guys were able to pull back, take the lead. What happened where you guys, you were back fourth. What happened in this game?
Yeah, honestly, I think that was a bit of my fault. I think on Cannon, I tried to build too offensively, and then I got caught out by Lissandra's ult, and Lee Sin would kick me out whenever I try to ult in. So I think team fight-wise, I think getting caught out didn't do well for our teams.
Well, guys, thank you so much for coming out tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, we will be right back, but we have the Chiefs versus Longzhu coming up next here at the Intel Extreme Masters here in Oakland. Coming back.